So today's practice is designed to go easy on yourself. Amidst all this chaos in the world, we're all trying to find a little grounding together. So I invite you to just sit up tall, close your eyes, and let your hands float down onto your knees. Close your eyes and just listen to my voice. And allow your spine to extend from the floor all the way up through the crown of the head. Settle into the space that you're taking up and allow yourself to just drop into the present moment. Let everything outside of exactly where you are, just be put on hold until later. Let your eyes close and know that in this go easy on yourself flow today, I want you to take what you need and leave what you don't. Make this practice personal to you, just as every yoga practice should be. Allow your eyes to close once again if they haven't, and allow your breath to just flow in and out through your nose. Let your lips close. Let your teeth have a little bit of space between them, releasing that tension in the jaw, and letting your tongue float to the back of the teeth. Letting your breath flow in through the nose, out through the nose, and take just a few breaths to notice how you feel today. How do you feel in this moment? How do you feel in the space that you're taking up? In your new yoga environment, or maybe a yoga environment you've been in before if you have a home practice. Let that breath just simply flow in and out, and notice any sensations that arise in your body. Notice the sensation of your feet to the ground, your knees resting on your feet, your hands resting on your knees. And then check in with your sits bones, make sure they're connected to the ground, and feel that connection that you have with the earth, that you have with yourself. And then start to let your breath deepen, lengthen, filling your nose, your throat, your lungs, and your belly, taking up as much time as you need to get the deepest breath that you possibly can. At the top of the breath, holding it for just a moment and then exhaling, feeling the breath leave the belly, come back up through the lungs and the rib cage, back up through the throat and out through the nose. Taking a few more of these deep breaths, noticing if you can hear that sweet swirl in the back of your throat as you inhale and exhale, and allowing yourself to set an intention for your practice this morning. No need to make it complicated. Go easy on yourself. Maybe your intention is simply to wake up a little gentler this morning. Maybe your intention is to take your yoga practice down a notch and allow yourself to drop into the present moment. Whatever it is that suits you this morning, let it resonate inside your heart. Taking just a few breaths silently and quietly. One more big breath. And after your exhale, let your chin bow to your chest. Feel your spine nice and long until you reach the neck, and then tip the chin to the chest. Let your hands float up together at heart center in Anjali Mudra. Feel your 10 fingertips touch one another. Feel your palms press against one another as your chin stays tucked. Now gently let your eyelids open as you see your fingertips below. Lift your head, release the palms. Inhale, reach up as high as you can. Exhale, palms together, hands drag down to the heart. Do it again. Inhale, reach wide and high. Feel the energy flow out of your fingertips. And then press those hands together and drag them back down to the heart. Do it one more time. Inhale, reach up, look up, see your hands connect. Feel the heat of the palms as they come together, and exhale, bring your hands together at the heart. This time, reach up, palms connect. The left hand's gonna float down to the side and the right arm's gonna reach up. Bicep next to your ear. Press your right rib cage towards the right side of the room and feel the right side of the body opening up and lengthening, creating space for whatever it is that you need today. Then let the right hand come down to the left. Sweep your hands over to the right and reach up with the left hand. Then reach past the left ear and press out of the left side of the rib cage, reaching up and past the head. Arm is nice and straight, or if it feels better for you, you just let it release. Remember, this is finding what you need this morning with your body. So finding activeness when you need it and relaxation when you need it, and just listening to what your body needs. Reaching one more time, and then circling back to the center. Reaching your hands out as far as you can, making your hands into little cupcake shields. So dig into the fingertips and imagine your beautiful cupcake that you've made in quarantine underneath your hands. Lifting up, let the head hang. Maybe walk your fingertips a little bit more forward. Let the head hang, let the back relax. And then planting the palms, feeling a little release in the low back and the hips. If it feels good to you, rock side to side. And then freeze in the middle. Slide your hands back in. Inhale, reach up. Palms touch and then separate. I want you to high 10 yourself in the air. Reach up, lift up, open the space in your armpits, and then wiggle your fingers as much as you can. Wiggle every little knuckle, reach and close and reach and close, and then bring the hands back down to the sides. Inhale that right arm back up, press out through the right rib cage. Exhale and switch. Inhale, reach up, press out through the left rib cage, and then exhale and switch. Do that a few more times, moving at your own pace, moving with your own breath. Reach up, lift up, keep the ground connected to you. Your hips stay down, your arms reach up. One more time on the other side. And then we're gonna reach both hands up to the sky one more time. Extend the fingers, feel the webbing of the hands, stretch. Wiggle your fingertips, and one more time, hinge forward at the hips. This time, hands touch lightly. Turn the creases of your elbows forward and lower your elbows down. Let the head hang, and again, sway side to side, noticing the difference from the previous time and how it feels in the low back and the hips. Then walk the hands back in. Reach your arms out front like a mummy, and then flip your palms over. Take your right fingertips and hug them back towards yourself. Feeling a nice stretch through the forearm. Let that hand come up, flip the palm over, take the fingertips, tuck it in now, feeling a stretch in the top of that forearm. And then release. Take the left hand, same thing, palm forward, stretch out, pull the fingertips back, feeling that stretch through the underside of the forearm. Reaching out, flip it over, tucking the fingertips under and pulling back. Releasing both hands, bringing the hands to the heart, pausing for a moment. Bowing the chin if that feels like you, or keeping it lifted, eyes open or closed, whatever works for you this morning. Then open the palms, reach forward, eyes open. Open up, throw the thumbs behind you. Don't throw them, just send them behind you. Feel your chest opening nice and wide, letting that space in your heart open up. Allow yourself to feel that love that you're filling yourself with, that self-love that you took time for your practice this morning. And then go ahead and bring your hands to the mat in front of you, or if you're sideways like I am, go ahead and come to all fours on your mat. Moving your blanket out of the way if you had one, and bringing your hands underneath your shoulders, spreading your fingertips wide and pushing yourself away from the earth, but noticing that you still have that connection, that grounding sensation between you and your mat, or you and the blanket. Feet are to the mat, and I want you to just sway your hips side to side. Once again, self-exploring what feels good this morning. Noticing if you're tight somewhere that you weren't aware, or maybe you're just simply feeling good from this break from the real world. I want you to freeze in the center. As you inhale, you're gonna let your belly drop, your tailbone's gonna flare, and you're gonna gaze up where the wall and ceiling meet. Coming into cow, then exhaling, tucking your tail, pressing your hands into the mat, and rounding your spine, tucking your chin, coming into cat. Inhaling again, nice and slow, nice and easy. Today there is no rush. Exhaling, coming into cat. Inhaling one more time into cow, belly drops, tailbone flares. Feel the expanse through the collarbone. Exhale, tuck the tail, round the back, tuck the chin, feel the shoulder blades pull away from one another into your cat. And then settle back in to your tabletop position. From here, we're gonna send our right leg behind us, nice and long, flexing and pointing the toe. Even if you think you know where we're going with this, be easy with yourself and take your time noticing every position. Flex and point the right toe. Check in with the right hip. Make sure it's not lifted or dropping, but keeping that alignment nice and tight. Then reach your left arm forward as if you're shaking someone's hand, reaching from the heel out to the fingertips. Let your head stay in line with your spine. Take a big inhale and reach. Exhale, draw your knee and elbow together under the body. Inhale, sending it out. Exhale, hugging it in. Inhale, sending it out. Exhale, hugging it in. If you feel off balance, no worries. It'll come. Just keep practicing and do your best. Then place your hand down, your knee down. Next leg, left leg goes back nice and long. Same thing, check in with this three-legged position, if you will. Point and flex, point and flex. Notice if there's a difference between this side and the other side of your body. If there is, honor it, respect it. All you need to do is notice it. Don't change a thing. Flex your toes, reach your right arm forward. Find that spinal balance here. Reaching and extending from fingertips to heel. Take a big inhale. Exhale, draw it under and connect. Inhale and reach. Exhale and connect. Inhale and reach. Exhale and connect. Inhale and reach. Hands come down, knees come down. Sway side to side. And then allow your big toes to touch and your knees to come wide. Send your hips back towards your heels and walk your hands forward. Letting your head rest on a mat or on a block. All right, if it's not accessible for you to have a block, grab a book, whatever you need. But you're in child's pose. Hands reaching out, hips back. Settling in here for just a few breaths. Allowing yourself this space. Just a few breaths, slowing down. You're staying down in that child's pose. Noticing how you feel once again. Checking in with exactly where you are today. What do you have in this moment? So much. You have your breath. You have your beautiful body. You have so much. Just check in with where you are and remember and honoring what you have. Taking your hands and walking them off to the left. All right, keeping that right hip connected to your right heel. And again, we're opening through the right side of the body. Notice how it feels different from when we did it seated. Press your right hand a little deeper into the mat. Feel the right side of the body opening up. Letting the head still relax. Letting the head stay to the mat or the block. Then walking back through center. Hands going off to the right. Opening through the left side of the body. Pressing into the left fingertips and feeling that left side opening up even more. Coming back to center. Sinking your hips back a little more. Maybe pressing into the hands. Maybe lifting back into that cupcake frame to dig into the shoulders just a little bit more. Finding what feels best for you. Then sliding hands under shoulders, drawing the knees closer to one another, curling the toes under, and lifting your hips into your downward facing dog. From here, pedaling out your heels. Remembering there is no rush. Taking your time, and if something feels so good, pause the video and stick with it until you're ready to move on. Then gazing between your hands and tiptoeing with as many steps as you need to come into forward fold. Let your head hang. Bend your knees as much as you need to. Let your upper and lower body connect and then grab opposite elbows. Let the weight of your body hug you down to stretch through those hamstrings. Release that low back. Maybe sway side to side. Let your arms become like a little boat floating on some water. Back and forth. Or maybe it feels best to just hang out. Maybe you don't want to grab opposite elbows and you just want your hands to hang. Then from here, inhaling, halfway lift. Just a little bit. Extend through the spine. Hands come to the shins. Let that neck stay in line with the back, with the spine. And then bow back down again. Bend your knees a whole lot. Inhale, reach wide and high. Hands come to the heart in Anjali Mudra. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, diving down. Inhaling halfway once again. Hands plant to the mat, and we're going to take only our right foot and step it back. We're going to drop our right knee down. Inhaling up, reaching up. If this doesn't feel like you this morning, hands can come to the heart or even the hips. But I want you to think about your tailbone tucking under and the lifting sensation from the upper body. Keep the shoulders away from the ears, palms face each other, and then take that tailbone and tuck it under, feeling a stretch through the right hip flexor. Reaching down and around the left foot, curling the right toes under, stepping back into your plank. Now this is where we go easy on ourselves. If this doesn't feel easy to you, knees come down. Maybe you take a child's pose here. Whatever feels right for you in this moment. Taking your plank and then dropping to your knees if you're not already. Lower all the way to your belly. Tops of the feet to the mat. Hands under the shoulders. Press into the feet and peel up through the upper body. No hands. Don't cheat and press into those hands. Use the back strength to lift up, look up. Curl your toes under, hips go up. Back to downward facing dog. Pedal it out. Take your time. Then lift your right leg once again and step it through. Okay? If you need to, use your hand and help yourself out. Then left knee comes down. Inhaling, reaching up, just as we were on the other side. Looking up, palms face each other. Hands could be at the heart or on the hips. Tailbone tucks. Reach up nice and high if you can. Tuck that tailbone under, feel the left hip flexor here. Then reach around, frame the foot, curl the toes under, stepping forward, back into your forward fold. Inhaling halfway. Exhaling, let it hang. Shake your head no. Nod your head yes. Inhale halfway. Exhale, release back down. Bend the knees a lot. Inhale, reach up. Hands come to the heart. Let's do it again. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, dive down, forward fold. Inhale halfway. Hands plant. This time left foot takes the big step back. Left knee comes down. Inhale, reach up. Feel that same engagement as before. We're gonna stay a little less time the second time around. Frame your foot. Step your right foot back to plank or kneeling plank or whatever feels good to you in this moment. Choosing this option or dropping to the knees, either way, lowering yourself all the way to your mat. Tops of the feet, touch the mat, lift up through the heart. Baby cobra. Toes curl under, hips go up. Downward facing dog. Pedal. Or be still. Left leg lifts, step it through, plant it. Right knee comes down. Inhale, reaching up. And again, framing the foot, curling the toes under, stepping forward, meeting in fold. Opposite elbows. Sway if it feels right. Release. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hands come to the heart. Close your eyes and allow yourself to come into your mountain pose. Feel the ground beneath you. Feel your heart beating. Eyes are closed. Feel your breath flowing in and out. Notice if you feel warmer than when you started. I know I do. Whew. Inhaling, reaching up. Exhaling, diving down. Inhaling halfway. Exhaling, lowering your hips and reaching up. Coming into Utkatasana chair pose. Reaching up, sending your hips down. Not gonna be here long because we're being easy on ourselves. But we are gonna engage some of these muscles that we need. Hands come to the heart, standing up. Inhaling, reaching up. Exhale, left hand drops, right arm reaches over. Again, tapping into the right side of the body. Bringing it back up through center. Taking it to the other side. Back up, reach up, look up. Exhale, dive down. Inhaling halfway. Exhaling, planting the hands, this time making your way back to your plank. Remember, that can be kneeling or on your toes. And then pressing up to downward facing dog. Pedal it out. And then let your knees ripple down to the mat. Big toes touch, knees go wide, hips go back. Forehead comes to a mat, blanket, block. And again, we settle in. Settling into your space, to your breath. Taking a moment here. And again, remembering your intention, remembering your purpose on your mat today can change every day, every moment. Coming out of your child's pose, bringing your knees closer together, and then sitting onto your heels in hero's pose. If you need, you take a block to prop yourself up. You can do that right between the feet. Maybe you just want to put it on your heels and sit on it. Maybe you simply need a blanket behind your knees. Finding what feels good for you, sitting here in hero's pose. Let your hands slide down. Let your spine lift long. And simply settle in once again. Pausing, reflecting, and honoring what we have. Taking just a few big, deep breaths. Maybe letting it out through the mouth or simply breathing in and out through the nose. Finding what fills you right now. And then coming back into your all fours. Take an inhale, looking up, cow. Exhale, curling into cat. Inhaling, looking up, cow. Exhaling into your cat. And then finding that tabletop position. Taking your right leg, sending it back. Flexing your toes. Taking a big inhale and exhaling, stepping the foot between the hands. Inhaling, reaching up, back into that nice low lunge. Now I want you to take your left arm, reach it forward, your right arm, reach it back. And you're gonna peek towards your right shoulder. I'm gonna cheat and look over here at you all. Wink, wink. And then you're gonna take your left hand down, right arm up, reaching up into this low lunging twist. Peek up at your right fingertips. See if you can press into the left hand more, reach out of the right fingertips more. Then use your core, peel yourself back up into the twist, cartwheel your hands around, slide the right foot back to tabletop. Inhaling cat, just kidding, cow. Exhaling cat. Inhaling cow. Exhaling cat. Coming back to your tabletop, taking your left leg, sending it back, reaching out through the heel, and then pointing as you flex the foot underneath and bring it underneath between your hands. Inhaling, reaching up into the low lunge on the other side. This time, right arm comes forward, left arm comes back, opening up, peeking past your left shoulder if that feels good to you. Otherwise, taking your gaze where it feels best. Right hand comes down, left arm comes up, and we reach. Peek up at those left fingertips. And then bring it down, frame the foot. Curl the right toes under, stepping forward into fold. Inhaling halfway. Exhaling to bow. Inhale, reaching all the way up. Hands come to the heart. Take a breath. Take a moment. Get a sip of water if you have it. And then let's start moving again. Inhaling, reaching up. Exhaling back into that chair. Sending your hips back, reaching your fingertips up. Keeping those heels anchored as well as the big toe and pinky mound. Feel the connection of those three corners of the feet. Shift your weight ever so gently into the left leg. Reach the right leg back. Inhaling, peeling yourself up into a high lunge. If this doesn't feel good to you, go back to the low lunge. If not, we're moving into the grown-up version of what we did before. High lunge, right arm forward, left arm back, twist. Right arm down, left arm up. Reach. Bend the left knee, get it over the left ankle. Push out of the right heel. Both hands come inside the left foot. The right knee comes down into our lizard pose. Whew, wasn't supposed to get this warm. If it feels good, elbows come down inside the foot. If the knee wants to flare out a little bit, make sure you keep that foot flexed. Let the bottom of the foot roll up as well. Settle in here. Feel that left hip chatting with you probably a little bit. Then curl your right toes under. Press up and back into downward facing dog. Separate the hands a little bit more. Lift the heels, come up onto your tiptoes, stretch the bottom of the feet. Then press the heels towards the mat. No need for them to touch the ground. Peek between your hands, walk forward to meet back in our fold. Inhale halfway, exhale bow. Inhale, reach up. Sit back into your chair. Beautiful. Shift your weight to the right foot. Step the left leg back. Inhaling, reaching up. Tuck the tailbone. When you're ready, left arm forward, right arm back. Twist. And then left hand comes inside. The right foot, right arm reaches up. And then when you're ready, both hands inside the right foot. Left knee comes down, back into that lizard. From here, maybe your elbows come down, same rules apply. Maybe the knee flares out, rolling onto the outer edge of the foot. Pressing back into the hands, curling the left toes under and stepping back to our last downward facing dog. Dig into the fingers, press into the hands. Let the chest come closer to the thighs as you lift your hips a little higher. And ripple the knees down. Big toes touch. Hips go back. Back to child's pose. Let it go. Go easy on you. Whew. Need to take my own advice. Sweating it up. It's all good though. Breathing in, breathing out. Taking 2 more breaths in your child's pose. And then bringing yourself up and turning to come seated on your mat. Go ahead and come seated and bring the bottoms of the feet together. Taking a moment to give your feet a little love, massaging out. Well, if you can massage it all the way out, good for you, but trying to massage out any tight spaces in the bottoms of the feet. Giving them a nice little rub, and then scooting your feet further out, making your diamond shape a little bit bigger than you normally would. Making your spine nice and tall, and then hinging forward. Letting the hands come out in front, or if it feels good, dropping them underneath your shins, palms up. Coming into your tortoise. Letting your head hang, letting your back round. And settling in to whichever version feels the best to you. Remember, if anything doesn't feel good, leave it out. You take what you need today. Let the head hang. And let the breath flow. Walking the hands back in. Drawing the feet closer to the body. Inhaling, closing the eyes, sitting up nice and tall, maybe rubbing the feet once again. And keeping your right leg tucked in and sending your left leg out to the side. All right? We're gonna inhale, reach our arms up. I want you to go ahead and square that right shoulder more towards the left foot and then dive down. Bending the knee as much as you need to, maybe grabbing your calf, maybe grabbing your ankle, or maybe grabbing the bottom of your foot. And then let the back round. Let the chin fall to the chest. Let the forehead drop towards the knee. Now notice the right side of the body. If it wants to lift up, root it down. Ground it back in towards your center line. And simply breathe into that hamstring, into your back, into whatever tight spaces you feel. Let your breath act as a tool to break up that tension. Inhaling to dig and break it up, and exhaling to root it out and get rid of it. Hands come to the sides, walking up, and then switching out your feet. Right leg out, left leg in. Inhaling, reaching up. Turning that left shoulder towards the right foot, and then dropping the hands down to the calf, to the ankle, maybe to the bottom of the foot. Noticing how one side feels different than the other. Take that left elbow, left shoulder, and hug it in. Squeezing it towards the center line, not allowing it to fly up and away. Then both hands come back down, walk yourself up, and take both legs out. This is our last pose before we make our way onto our backs. Taking your legs as wide as feels good to you. There's no need to force anything. Just give yourself a little space and walk your hands forward. Maybe you stop here. Maybe your elbows can come down. Maybe you can grab your block and put your forehead to it, or stacked fists. Choosing your own adventure as we move through our last seated posture. And then once again, connecting with your breath. Hands come back down. Walk yourself in. And go ahead and pivot to the long edge of your mat. Grabbing behind your thighs, tucking your chin, and rolling yourself down onto the ground. Moving anything that's in your way out of your way. Hugging your knees into your chest. Rocking side to side. Then simply interlacing 10 fingers underneath your right knee and extending your left leg long. Take that right leg and hug that knee towards the front of your right shoulder. Don't crunch on your ribs or your chest. Then flex the left toes, pull them towards your nose, making that left leg as long as you possibly can. Taking that right ankle and drawing circles in one direction. Taking your ankle and switching directions. And then freezing and pulling that right knee a little tighter just for 2 breaths. And then releasing the right leg. Drawing the left knee in, interlacing your 10 fingers underneath that knee. Pull the left knee towards the front of the left shoulder. Extend the right leg, flex the right toes towards your nose. Anchor through the right shoulder, bring it back to the mat. Take your left ankle, make circles in one direction. And then switch, go the other direction. And then freeze the ankle, squeeze the leg, extend the right leg, opposite directions. And then release both legs nice and long. Hugging both legs back into the chest, taking a quick rock side to side. And then taking your arms out, either straight out or like goddess arms or goalpost arms. Feeling your chest opening and then letting your legs drop like a bundle of legs to the right. Keeping the shoulders on the ground and then peeking past your left shoulder out to your left elbow or fingertips. Breathing here. Taking just a moment to pause. Then using your core, bring your knees back to the center, together or separately, anchoring through the right shoulder, dropping the knees as a bundle of legs to the left. Peeking past your right shoulder, past your right fingertips. Pausing here. Hugging your knees back into the chest. Giving them one more big squeeze. And then releasing your legs nice and long. Arms come to the side. You've made it to sweet Shavasana. I invite you to lay here and notice sensations in the body. Take a moment. Be still. Your breath carries you. Your mat supporting you. Feeling the rise and fall of the breath. Maybe reaching over and hitting pause so that you can take as long of a Shavasana as you would like. If you pressed pause, choosing to unpause the video at any time. And as you come out of your Shavasana, wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. Do not rush yourself. Take it easy. And then when you're ready, walking your feet in, rolling onto whichever side suits you best. Pausing on your side in modified fetal position for just a few breaths. Then letting your hands press into the earth to push yourself back up to seated. Finding that comfortable seat, that Sukhasana that we started in. Bringing your hands to your heart, lengthening through your spine. Taking a big inhale through your nose. Exhaling, bow your chin to your chest. Thank you to each and every one of you for joining me today. Remember to always think kind thoughts, speak kind words, and do kind things. Namaste.